Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La yadurru ma'a ismihi fil ardi wa la fis sama' wa huwa samiul alim. Qala rabbi sadri wa yassir li amri wa khluq 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Hari ini 27 Mei 2020, hari Rabu, bersamaan dengan 4 Syawal 1441. Alhamdulillah, kita pun telah masuk hari-hari yang keempat. Dan bagi mereka yang sedang berpuasa sunat bulan Syawal, Alhamdulillah, mungkin mereka telah mendapat 3 hari dalam bulan Syawal ni. So untuk melengkapkan 6 hari, mungkin 3 hari lagi tinggal sampai hari Sabtu. Kalau berterusan esok, lusa dan tulat, hari Ahad kita boleh raya semula, insyaAllah. Saya pun dalam mengerjakan ibadat sunat bulan Syawal, mengambil peluang, opportunity yang diberikan pada kita selepas menjalankan ibadat puasa di bulan Ramadan 30 hari. Sebagaimana hadis sabda Nabi bahawa untuk mendapat fadilat berpuasa seumpama 1 tahun, bagi mereka yang berpuasa 30 hari terus dalam bulan Ramadan dan diikuti dengan 6 hari puasa sunat bulan Syawal, insya-Allah fadilatnya bersamaan dengan 1 tahun puasa, 1 tahun berpuasa. Dan kita kena ingat yang hari dalam Islam setahun sebanyak 354 hari, bukan 365. Kerana Islam hanya 354 hari. Okay. So tonight, what do we want to talk? What we want to share? Okay. I did a lot of capital expenditure job, or what we call CAPEX, as well as maintenance work during my service, either as a design engineer or when I was attached to the plant environment, which I did serve under 2 departments. One is the engineering department, the other one is the maintenance department. The engineering department, the main scope of work is to execute the capital expenditure activity, what we call as a CAPEX, and the other expenses are maintenance. So maybe what we need to try to clarify and try to understand what it means by CAPEX. CAPEX, I think in the definition you might be saying that CAPEX is I would say that it's an investment to upgrade or to acquire tangible asset in the plant, basically. Again, I just said CAPEX is basically an investment for acquiring or upgrading tangible asset in a facility. But a very simple way to understand is that for us not to be bogged down or being complicated about this definition, CAPEX is something as an investment which will bring in return of investment, internal rate of return, and have a payback period for whatever that we have invested. So if you put your money there, you expect a return of investment, and you need to know how long the investment will return back to you. So basically, it's a very simple definition in terms of the CAPEX investment. While very simple maintenance is just an expense. It's part of the operation. It's an expenses that take place, which you cannot recover. It should be part of it's part of the profit and loss of the operation of the company. So remember, maintenance is just a money down the drain. Hopefully that you can make some revenue because of the maintenance work based on the original investment that already took place prior you did the maintenance work. So that we're looking at the financial aspect in terms of the definition. But in terms of the field reality or the technical part is that, as mentioned, CAPEX will be handled by the engineers or plant engineers or technical engineers, which normally belongs to the engineering department in a setup. Their job is to design, prepare specification, do procurement based on the technical, because it's involved heavily on the technical aspect. There might be some involvement from the field in terms of knowledge transfer from the field to the design, to make sure whatever the upgrade or the new acquiring parts will be last longer than what is previously was being installed. So these are basically a very straightforward definition of CAPEX in the plant. As I mentioned, that when you do a CAPEX, definitely there will be some depreciation cost involved. And what is the depreciation cost? Depreciation cost is basically the decreasing value of the asset or the tangible asset for certain period of time. Normally it will base on the lifespan of the asset that was being upgraded or acquired or being designed. So take for example, if you have a tank or pressure vessel that can stand for 20 years. So normally the depreciation will base on 20 years. So if you bought the vessel for 1 million, so you divide by 20, so every year your pressure vessel value will decrease based on the depreciation value that you have set up in the company. This is accounting activity, which part of the investment, because as I mentioned that the CAPEX we look at it involves of return of investment, return of a payback of the system, and maintenance is just an expense. It's just overhead. You don't get anything in terms of financially from the expense. So I will talk again about. I will talk more further on the maintenance. Maybe when I have done sharing the CAPEX area, and I will talk about maintenance. As I mentioned that I've been a project engineer, I've been a design engineer, I've been a maintenance engineer. I'm also the engineering manager as well as the maintenance manager for facility in Gebeng before this. The technical definition of CAPEX is, as mentioned, is upgrading and acquiring. So in other words, anything that you change the original design or the as-built of the tangible asset or the equipment, either you change the material, you change the parts to a new design, to a new material construction, any changes to the original or the original design, it can be considered as a capital expenditure. Some company will like to take this as a capex because it involves of tax incentive, investment area, rather than just let it be profit and loss of the operation. So the maintenance work or the maintenance spending can be considered or can be a driving force for any initiative in terms of repairing to change to become capital expenditure. And we'll talk about this. So what is the normal rule of thumb from maintenance to transfer to become capital expenditure activity then. So as I mentioned, the capex does have depreciation value over time or period. The value of the equipment of the asset will be reduced according to the years, according to a period, and normally it will depend on the lifespan of the equipment. As I mentioned, for example, it's 20 years, so you divide by 20, so it depreciate. So by the end of the 20 years, this is where when we say that what will be the salvage value. By 20 years, the salvage value of the pressure vessel is already zero, because you already divide 1 million, for example, 1 million over 20 years. By the 20 years, the salvage value is zero. So if you sell it, or you want to dispose your equipment, or for other people to buy it, you can have a salvage value by then. It's normally what it will be the original price of the asset. You minus out with the depreciation value that have occurred along the years. For example, you have used the equipment for 10 years, so you take what is the depreciation value for 10 years. The remaining value, that will be your salvage value. So you should have some value back if you want to dispose or sell it, the equipment, for financial reason or for whatever reason that you want to do. So this is a very straightforward. It's not. I do not want to share about the accounting because I'm not accountant. So what is capex? Very straightforward. Anything you change from the original design, either parts or you put in a new thing. You change the material from stainless steel to titanium, for example. That can be considered as a capex. You putting a new piping loops. That's a capex. So you make a bigger piping. This is a capex. So these are the capex. So if you change it, parts in kind, that is not capex. That is maintenance expenses. So again, we will talk about the maintenance later. Maybe once we when I have done sharing about my understanding about capex. So again, just to recap back, capex is the capital expenditure to upgrade or to acquire new tangible asset or equipment for investment, which we expect return of investment, internal rate of return. We're talking about paybacks on the investment, and does have a lifespan, involve depreciation value, involve salvage value, and normally capex will be handled by the engineering department or by the engineer, which in the engineering department. When we talk about maintenance, you do have a facility engineer or maintenance engineer. Their scope of work are mainly to do troubleshooting, to make recommendation what to do with the asset or the equipment, either for repair or for improvement, for knowledge transfer from the field to the design. Might be coming from this group of people or facility or maintenance engineer. So you might have your own understanding about capex. Ask yourself whether is it similar to my sharing. Is it the same understanding that you have on the capex? And you might want to share with me. Let's join my FB page, my engineers. We can share what do we understand about capex, what is the benefit of doing capex, and only thing that just want to share with you, capex will normally involve high capital upfront. So you need a quite big number of quite big sum of money to perform capex. Compare than performing maintenance work. But there's a certain percentage I need to know that when maintenance need to change to become a capex. We will talk again. So have a thought about it. Think about it. You might have some experience. I appreciate to hear if any sharing that you can have. Let's talk in my page, my engineer FB page, so that we can share our knowledge and experience for our own good benefit. So with that, I will talk to you again, inshallah. Stay safe, enjoy yourself. Selamat Hari Raya again. If those for those that gonna be fasting sunat tomorrow, wish you the best, inshallah. All your whatever ibadah you do will be accepted by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So I am Rasidi Norman. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.